Welcome everyone to the October 3rd, 2019 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. And I will ask our Auditor of State, Keith Faber, please, to lead us in the pledge.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Auditor Faber. I'm Barb Lewis, President. To my right is fellow Commissioner Gary Merrill, our Administrator Mike Fromer, and our Clerk Sarah DeNovo. We can begin.
Resolution number 19-962, in the matter of approving the electronic record of the proceeding from regular meeting held September 30th, 2019.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 19-962. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
And Commissioner Britton is absent this morning. We do have public comment this morning.
Excellent.
Good morning, Commissioners. George Kaitza, Delaware County Auditor. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce State Auditor Keith Faber, who is here to present a special award to Delaware County.
Thank you. Thank you, Auditor.
Well, these are the good days, being your state auditor, to recognize excellence. And it is my honor to be here. Commissioners, auditor, you have a great county, but you know that. The fact is that we want to make sure we communicate to your constituents just what a great job you do. And sometimes in the state auditor's life, we are out there finding people who are doing bad things. We at any given time have about 140 criminal investigations going on, and I have 2 full-time prosecutors who generally work for us prosecuting people who are lying, stealing, and cheating. Today is one of the other good days. We are recognizing Delaware County, and particularly your auditor, with our top award. This is the top 4% of all of the 6,000 governments that we audit. The auditor's office, I always tell people, it's easier to say what we don't do than what we do. We don't collect taxes, we don't audit individuals, and we don't audit businesses. What we do is audit the 6,000 entities across Ohio that spend your tax dollars. And so we're Bob and Betty Buckeyes check and balance on government waste, fraud, and abuse. And in that capacity, we audit 4,500 entities every single year. The other 1,500 get audited every other year. So we do most people on an every year cycle and some on an every other year cycle. Out of those people we audit, the top 4% of them, so we're talking about just a few hundred, are recognized with the Ohio Auditor of State Award with Distinction. And that's the award I'm here to present today to your county and to your county auditor in specific. This is a really big deal. And candidly, not every county gets this. And I would say, as I said, very few counties actually get this in comparison. To have this level of recognition at a county like Delaware means your books and records can be relied on without question for your citizenry. And that means you've got good checks and controls in. That means you've got people who are professional in the back working, and I know your staff needs to be recognized as well, Auditor. But it also means you've got a political group from the commissioner's office to the prosecutor to the sheriff who work together to do the people's business. And that's something that you should be very proud of. And so on behalf of the people of Ohio, on behalf of my office and the state auditor's office, I want to present this to George on behalf of the county, and thank you for your excellence and thank you for your great work.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Is it all right, Madam Chairman, that we do a picture?
Oh, please.
Let's let
Yes.
George, can he say something?
Yeah, all right, yeah, that will
Call
work.
out his staff for their great work.
Yes, first of all, I'd like to introduce and recognize Mr. C.J. Keeley, my Chief Deputy Auditor, as well as Ms. Dawn Hall, who is my Senior Accountant. Both of them were very instrumental in terms of working on the audit and preparing the CAFR. And I'd also like to recognize all of the elected officials and directors and fiscal managers within the county that work so closely with our office in terms of providing information and making sure that the information is accurate, and that, as State Auditor Faber stated, that our records are auditable and in excellent shape, that people can rely on them. So with that, Mr. Keeley, Want to say anything, or Ms. Hall? So, well, I guess then now we can proceed with the picture.
How many years, George, have you gotten this award?
This is my second year.
Okay, and that's generally what we find is once we get somebody who's excellent, they know how to stay excellent. And so I'm going to just advance that we're coming back next year, okay? I'm just going to pre-announce it, because when we get somebody at that level, I don't want to set the bar too high.
I was going to say,
We're going to have a three-peat.
And so it is not unusual for us to come back and have multiple years, once people get the award. And from that perspective, it shows the excellence. Good people tend to do good things, so congratulations. And commissioners, can we get a picture real quick?
Sure,
Can I make a
sure, we're
comment
just going to
first?
make a couple
And,
comments. Go
I
ahead.
just, we have probably the best auditor in the state, county auditor, and we're very proud of him, but it just shows that we as a county take fiscal responsibility very seriously. Not only does our auditor take it seriously, we as commissioners and every elected official in this county, I believe, takes that seriously. And we represent the taxpayers and the residents of this county, and the integrity of the process is extremely important, that they're able to trust the process and that we are spending the dollars in an appropriate way and a fiscally responsible way. So thank you, and thank you for taking the time to come here and share your thoughts today. Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you very much, Auditor Faber, for coming. And to George, the moment I became a commissioner and really realized and began to realize the scope that our office covers, it's very broad and it touches all of our citizens. And in working with you, George, I mean, I have developed a very, very deep respect for your integrity and everything that you do. It is always right. And we are very blessed to have you, and your assistants are wonderful too. But you are the leader, and you have proven to be a leader in the state, and we're extremely proud of you. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Lewis, and thank you so much, Commissioner Merrill.
Thank you.
And we'll get a picture.
Yep.
How about we get one with the commissioners and get one with your staff?
Sure. Is that right? However you want to do it. We're good. I promise.
Okay, George, you got to get it in the middle with the plaque.
Okay.
Commissioners need to be holding the award.
Oh, my, no.
This is good. That's good right there. It's a team sport.
Okay, ready? Perfect. All right, thank you.
We get one with your staff. Sure.
Yes. Oh, yes.
This is the one that goes on Christmas.
Okay. Everybody all in? Okay. Okay, one more. Perfect.
Now, this is the December picture. The auditor calendar that he gives out to everybody, right? This is the December picture.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys. Thank you for your great work. Thank you. Commissioner, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Happy doing this. And George knows if he needs anything, he should call. You guys are great. Thank you. Make sure you let me know when you guys do the opening next door.
It'll be next summer, so tentatively it's sometime next summer.
Make sure you invite us, I'll try now. Okay. Do you have anything to add? There you go. That's good. It's always good, sir. Something extra work here in the county. Okay, if it's.
Right, that's about
We're gonna go down and see you one, sir.
I think you'll be impressed.
Thank you. Thank you. So much.
Thank you. Yes. You can do it first.
Very Very impressive. Oh, my gosh. Okay, we can proceed.
Resolution number 19-963, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CMA PR 1002.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 19-963. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-964, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 19-964. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-965, in the matter of setting date and time for viewing and public hearing for consideration of the Franklin Watershed Drainage Improvement Petition filed by Peter Urbanski and others.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 19-965. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-966, in the matter of approving a municipal advisory services agreement between Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors LLC and the Delaware County Commissioners to provide municipal advisory services to Delaware County.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. George Kaitza, County Auditor again. Commissioners, we've been working very closely with Mr. Brad Lutz on this. This item is to appoint Baker Tilly. They're the successor firm to UMBA that we've used as our municipal advisor. And this agreement authorizes Baker Tilly to serve as our municipal advisor with respect to a debt issuance that I'll discuss with the other two resolutions.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 19-966. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-967, a resolution providing for the issuance and sale of bonds in the maximum principal amount of $2,300,000 for the purpose of paying the cost of refunding bonds previously issued to the county for the purpose of paying cost of improving certain county facilities, including the county jail, Hayes Building, and constructing, furnishing, and equipping together with all necessary appurtenances thereto.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. George Kaitza again. This is the actual authorization to allow us to proceed with a debt issuance. Baker Tilly approached us about 3 or 4 months ago, indicating that the interest rates within the municipal markets had improved significantly to the point where we could save somewhere between $500,000 to $600,000 in interest costs over the remaining life of the bonds that we have. So we're basically refunding bonds that were issued at a time when the interest rates were higher, and now that the rates have dropped, it makes sense for us to be able to do that. We also discussed whether to do that as a going directly to the capital markets, which would involve getting ratings from the rating agencies, and that would actually be a more complicated process. So in our discussions, we decided to proceed with a bank placement or private placement. In other words, banks are allowed to purchase debt up to $10 million of municipal debt. So this seemed to be a more practical way of doing it because it can be done fairly quickly through the use of an RFP process. We will take quotations from the various banks that purchase municipal securities, and it also eliminates the cost of doing the cost of getting a rating from the rating agencies. So that is the proposal, and Mr. Lutz, myself, and Mr. Keeley all recommend that action, and this will also then enable us to next year, when we will need to issue more debt for the renovation and reconfiguration of the North Career Center, then we will be able to do that as a regular issue that goes before the capital markets. And in this case, we're refunding about $8.5 million worth of bonds that are callable. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
And it's my understanding that same length, we're not extending the length of the bonds or anything, so, is that correct?
That's correct.
No, great to be proactive.
Right. Well, and we're very
Say it.
fortunate that the interest rates have moved in a
Right,
direction that's very
right.
favorable.
Exactly, taking advantage of that and saving a lot of money. So, thank you so much. Vote.
Vote on motion 19-967. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
We're on page 21.
Thank you.
Resolution number 19-968, a resolution providing for the issuance and sale of bonds in the maximum principal amount of $6,700,000 for the purpose of paying costs of refunding bonds previously issued by the county for the purposes of paying cost of constructing a building to provide facilities for county offices and functions and improving the site thereof, and acquiring a building to provide facilities for county offices and functions.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
I don't believe there's any additional discussion unless you
Right.
have any questions.
Right. This is just another example of your excellence, George.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Lewis.
Vote.
Vote on motion 19-968. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
And we are on page 29.
I do have a question for you. Are there any other bonds out there that we may be able to, or not, or do we?
Not at this point in time. We looked at where it made sense to do the refunding. I think we have, correct me if I'm wrong, Si, but I think we have some shorter-term bonds where the savings wouldn't be worth it, so.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Resolution number 19-969, in the matter of approving a professional services agreement with MS Consultants Incorporated for the Berlin Business Park Pump Station and Force Main Project.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. This is a contract to design the Berlin Business Park Pump Station. It's going to be located west of Alum Creek, south of 3637. The exact location of that pump station will be determined in accordance with the Economic Development Group as we kind of work through the design phase. It's also going to include a force main down to our existing pump station near Cheshire Road, and then also gravity sewers, which once again will determine the location during design.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 19-969. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-970, in the matter of accepting sanitary improvements for Center at Powell Crossing.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
So these sewers have been installed and have met all of our requirements. This is a development located on West Olentangy Street near the railroad tracks in Powell. There are 4 apartment complexes and then 2 commercial buildings that have yet to be determined what will be inside of those buildings.
Are they, just a question there, when I was there, passing by a couple nights ago, all the development there by the railroad track, I guess it's just a little bit further east. What is that?
That's this development.
Is that this one?
That's across the railroad tracks from like the
Yeah.
police station and
Yes,
community center? Yeah, that's
exactly.
this development.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I live in Powell, you live in Lewis Center, so.
Yeah.
Vote on motion 19-970. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thanks.
Resolution number 19-971, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriation for administrative services.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Dawn Houston, Deputy Administrator. I'm recommending your approval of this transfer. This is our wellness grant from SEPCO, and we just need to move it from the services and charges object code to the materials, opposite. The materials and supplies to services and charges to suffice in the invoice that we have.
Okay. And vote.
Vote on motion 19-971. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That brings us to administrator reports.
I have nothing to report this morning.
And you get to go first
I-
again.
First, and, well, not last, because you're going, but
Yeah, but you're,
Right.
I know.
I just have a couple
today.
of things. One, I went to the Delaware Now meeting, which is basically a discussion of the 23 corridor Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock, and there was about, I'm going to say 30, 35 people there, and our administrator was there as well, as of course Bob Lamb was there. And I thought it was a productive meeting, basically trying to get everybody kind of moving in the same direction about how we improve right now the 23rd corridor, for lack of a better name. And so it'll lead to other discussions next few weeks and months, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to make some improvements through that corridor. The other thing I'll mention is the ceremonies tomorrow for Hayes, our former president, is at Sandusky and William Street. The statue will be unveiled at that time, and it's long overdue.
Yes.
The recognition of our president, who was born and raised in Delaware.
And you'll be doing the honors.
I will be speaking on behalf of the county, as with
Yes.
several other speakers, and look forward to that. And I think it'll be a great event, and that's also Main Street, First
Right,
Friday
First
tomorrow
Friday,
night.
so
It's a
good.
perfect time for this.
Perfect, yes, perfect timing.
And that's all I have.
Okay. A couple stats from my Bridges Community Action meeting the other day. One of the things that the group does is pay utility bills when people of a certain income cannot afford to pay their bills, and they spent, this is a reporting period of the last 3 months, and they spent $4,810 helping people with utility bills, and then actually $15,436,000. And this is actually, it technically comes under the weatherization program, but I asked why it was fairly high, and they said it was probably the putting in a new furnace, a couple of new furnaces, maybe. But anyway, the money that we spend is broken down by counties. So often, even though Delaware County has a very, very high income, we do have, with our population, a greater number of people who still suffer from poverty. So therefore, so often we, through community action, end up giving more to people in Delaware County than some of the other counties, just based on population. And I'm also meeting this afternoon with Cassie Neff, the program director of the Sheriff's Office, and Cassie is in charge of our Stepping Up program, meeting with Director Fischel of EMS and also Captain Cochran from EMS. So they are become more familiar with what we're doing with EMS. Certainly our EMS plays a vital role in helping people. And so we've already got programs such as bed capacity, where people, when something happens, when our EMS would come in, and then, where do they take people? Sometimes it's just to Grady, but yet Grady doesn't have, in some cases, the facilities to really help people as they need it. They have an emergency room, but yet, people need care beyond that. So anyway, I'll be glad. Cassie will fill them in, and I will help. So we're meeting this afternoon. And that's all I have. We have need for executive session.
Resolution number 19-972, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of promotion, compensation of a public employee or public official for collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 19-972. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye, we're now recessed into executive session.
Resolution number 19-972, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 19-972. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
We are adjourned.